So here we have a new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe Premier. And this Tahoe comes in black on jet black perforated leather interior. The powertrain consists of a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8, mated with a 10-speed automatic transmission. And as you get to the front end here, we have our LED daytime running lights along with LED headlamps. And I really love the chromed out grille here and even the accents. I wish they would have done gloss black here instead of this plastic, but other than that, a really sleek look. Really like that. And as we go to the side here, we have 22-inch aluminum wheels. And it's kind of got that classic luxury look, in my opinion, on this Tahoe here. And then I think we have a $1,900 or $1,800 option for these power running boards with perimeter lighting. And over here to the door panel, we have our power door locks, memory seating. Then we have our power windows, and then the front two, you can one touch up and down. And then we have power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors. We can lock our windows here, and then power mirror controls there. Really good storage in the door panel here. And I believe we have a 10-speaker Bose sound system. And up here we have an electronic parking brake. Just press that to engage and then hit the brake and press it again to disengage. And then we have our lane departure there, auto stop, drive modes, 4-wheel drive, headlamp controls, and then a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. And here we have our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. And I really like how they put this gray stitching throughout, so it's not just all black. It looks really, really sleek. We get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And then for this second row seat, hit this to fold down, and then you can use this to actually slide the seat back and forth. Let's hop in here and see if I can get these screens to come on. So these are going to be the dual 12.6 screens as part of the rear entertainment system. I think it's an $1,800 option. And then you can hook up HDMI ports, YouTube, Hulu. You can just toggle that on and off there. And then you'll have to use the Wi-Fi hotspot to get that going. But I really like the screens, very intuitive, pretty easy to use when they're hooked up. And then that's my leg room there, so I'm just barely touching the back, and then when I actually scoot the seat all the way back, no issue whatsoever. Plenty of space, and the seat in front of me is adjusted for someone of my size. Very impressed. Down here we have our rear AC controls, which are automatic, and you can toggle that auto mode there for the fan speed, dial that down, turn it all the way off. You can adjust temperature there, and you can adjust where you want the fan to blow. And then we have 3-stage heated outboard seats here, those 2 HDMI ports for the rear entertainment system, and then 2 USB-C charging ports there. And then we even have a 110-volt household plug-in, so you can plug your Xbox in here and play it, no problem. It's one of my favorite things about having a rear entertainment system. And there's that 3rd row. Let's see if I can get back there. So that's my leg room there. Basically jammed in there, but you can make it work. Like I said, I'm 6'3", and if I scoot the seat up a little bit more, that's kind of my foot space there. So not bad. You can definitely fit your kids back here, no problem. And then you have a USB-C charging port here, cup holder. And I really like how they put these vents up here. Very sleek, you can just barely tell they're there, but they blow really well. Let's go and check out the cargo space next. And then we have our tail lights there, dual exhaust. There's a power lift gate. So not bad storage back here. You have a little bit underneath, but if you want more space, when the seats are up far enough in that second row, you can power fold this third row up and down. There's a 3-prong household plug-in there. And we can also power fold that second row. It's got a power release, excuse me. Then you have to manually put them back up. Let's hit up this window sticker before we check out the front passenger seat. You all can pause to check out all the options. This one's stickered at $78,255. But here's that power front passenger seat with power lumbar support. And glove compartment with owner's manuals. Let's go ahead and check out this engine bay before we hop in the driver's seat. And here's a look at that 5.3 liter V8. Now let's hop in. So to start, really nice leather wrap heated steering wheel. You can toggle that there. Pretty much have huge hands and I can fit them all throughout here, which is nice, depending on how I like to drive. And then over here we have that new 10.2-inch Google Assistant screen. So we have our Google Maps pulled up here. Very, very quick, easy to use. And we get AM, FM, XM radio along with Bluetooth audio. And then you have Google Podcasts, Google News, then you can use your USB input. But we have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which is really my favorite thing to use. And there we have our backup camera with our guidelines that turn with the steering wheel. And then down below, we have our dual zone automatic climate controls. So we have our 3-stage heated and cooled seats as well down here. And then the actual AC controls you can pull up on the screen as well. Pretty high def picture there. You can control where the air is going. Set the auto mode, blah, blah, blah. And you can sync as well. And then just cut it off completely. And you can actually control the rear from up here as well. So below here, of course we have the knobs like I said, but we have a USB-C, USB-A port there, a 12 volt, and a really nice size wireless charging pad. We have cup holders here, our center console cubby space here. And I like how it's actually nice and wide as opposed to being taken up on the sides there. So you can put bigger objects in there. Not necessarily taller objects, but. And then there we have our optional, I think it's $1,600 power panoramic sunroof there with the sunshade. Which I absolutely love how they did it in these Tahoe Suburbans. There's a view of the back from up here. And then over here we have our universal home remote. We can power fold that third row as well as activate that power lift gate. And then we have sunroof controls here. But over to the steering wheel, we have our cruise controls we can toggle here. Forward collision alert, the gap adjust, of course the heated steering wheel toggle I was talking about earlier. And then to the right side, we have our voice recognition, mute, and then these knobs and arrows here are gonna be for that gauge cluster, which is going to be all digital. And behind the steering wheel on the left side, we have our track list, radio station favorite controls we can toggle. And then behind the steering wheel on the right side, we have our volume controls. There's our push button start. Finally, here we have our key fob with remote start. But next, we're gonna go ahead and take this Tahoe Premier with the 5.3 liter V8 out on the road for a quick test drive. So of course, driving out of the parking lot, I just drove a 6.2 liter Suburban High Country. You really can feel the 70 horsepower that this 5.3 liter is underpowered compared to the 6.2, but still, in my opinion, plenty of horses for what you might need. And one thing I'd prefer over the 6.2 liter V8 with this 5.3 is going to be just the overall loudness. That 6.2 liter, I like the beefy sound to it, but it's a much louder engine in my opinion compared to this 5.3 liter. And this Tahoe does have magnetic ride control, which helps with the ride quality, especially with these bigger 22s. Let's see how this lane departure does. So the one thing I don't like about GM's lane departure is it really just, it keeps you from running off the road, but it doesn't actually keep you from going out of the lane, which can be rather annoying. But it'll avoid a collision when it needs to. And it's actually really easy to drive this. Even though it's a bigger SUV, I really like the steering. Just how you don't have to hold on to it for dear life. We'll give it a little throttle coming out of this corner here. Well, never mind. Just gonna try and maneuver through here. And let's give it a little now. Yeah, this is gonna be decent power for 95% of consumers. Unless you just wanna have that beefier 6.2 liter. Can't go wrong with this. But in terms of visibility, pretty good. Especially out the front here. I love how they slope the hood down. It's not intrusive in the way. Because when you're parking something this big, you might get a little skeptical about space you have in front or behind you. And it's nice that having the hood sloped down makes it that much easier. And of course you can option for a higher trim or even for more options on this vehicle and get that front camera, because this one just has the backup camera, but probably won't need it 99% of the time, especially when it comes to curbs or whatever, because this has pretty high ground clearance as opposed to having a car or smaller SUV. But all in all, been a really, really comfortable ride. The seats feel great. Love having the cooled seats and not having to wait on a chip retrofit for that. And then just everything in terms of technology up to par. Just wish we had lane centering, but I'll keep complaining about that. But as we come to the end of my test drive, I want to thank Chevrolet Buick GMC of Murfreesboro for allowing me to review this Tahoe Premier. I'll leave a link below in the description. And really like the Tahoe, pretty good option for the money, especially if this is what you're into. But with all that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.